was here, you had the Sithmas tree up, and I was just like, interesting.
I mean, to be fair, I am that white trash. I just leave my tree up year round anyway.
That's called efficiency.
Yeah,
exactly. Most white trash things are efficiency.
That's right.
Like you have a yard, why not build a car on it? You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it. You could turn it into a Valentine's Day tree, put a leprechaun on it for March.
Mm-hmm.
April, you could be like, hey, April Fools, it's not Christmas. Yeah. May, dedicate it to your mother. June, dedicate it to your father.
Yeah.
July
Christmas in July.
No, Christmas in July.
Christmas in July.
Yeah. Christmas in July, yeah. And then what we got? September. September's going to be a rough one. Arbor Day, trees. It's a tree, so it's technically a tree. Then we can go on for it.
Yeah, I'll say, because of all the dates in September, you can never forget Arbor Day.
You can never forget Arbor Day. Then once you get to September and August, once you get to October, you got holidays, and then it's Christmas again. Right. I actually did do that one year. I actually kept my tree up all year.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like dividing walls, so I just kind of like covered it. I was just like, it was a pain in the ass to put back up and down. I was like, this is easier.
Well, I'm not joking. Other than last year when my parents moved in with me, no, I had that tree up. I think a solid maybe 4 years in a row.
Yeah, it's nice. It lights up the room. It's like the Lebowski rug. It ties the room together.
It does tie the room together. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome.
Like if anything ever happens to that, I will go on this huge epic quest with me and 2 bowling mates.
And can I say that I've never been into a podcast where I get a gourmet dinner cooked for me. This is crazy. I got carbonara. It looks like I sweat carbonara. But then you had what is this? You made a garlic bread, a shmia, and all that. Oh my god.
The meat.
It's got the gabagool.
The tiramisu. Yeah.
Tiramisu. I ate my tiramisu. That's why I'm not eating my.
And I did all of this for the fakest Italian I know. So, Jesse Pimpinella, thank you for coming back on the destination. You're technically, I think, the first single repeat guest. I've had people on in the past in group episodes, but you're the first one back for another one-on-one treatment, and because you have so much awesome stuff going on in your life. For those that can't see right now, Jesse released his second special called Spooky.
Right there.
You can find that on all audio streaming services on Roku TV, and you just recently got it on another.
I got it on Fossum TV.
Fossum TV.
Yeah, it's you can get that app on anywhere, your phones, Fire TV, Roku TV, Apple TV, whatever it is, whatever has an app store, you can get that. You can watch this. And please do watch it, check it out. Let me know how you like it. I know some people think spooky. Is it Halloween? No, it's based on my wife. My wife I call her Spooky because we were married on Halloween 2020. And this is great. You can watch this for Valentine's Day. You can watch Sweetest Day, which I was looking up Sweetest Day because that's in October. Yeah. Do you know how the origin of Sweetest Day is?
I think I do, but enlighten me, though.
It's originally it was because we were to give candy and chocolates to orphans because they had it rough.
Yes.
But then Hallmark and white women were like, I need another day where I'm proven to be loved.
Right.
And now it's a day where all men forget and screw up.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's what it is.
Nice. Actually, also you can watch it for Arbor Day.
Arbor Day, yeah. Because I imagine the trees that were used to make this case. You know what I mean? The paper on there and everything. The trees gave their lives so I could produce these.
That's right. We do it all for the trees.
All for the trees, my friends. All for the trees. But it's free, and that was the fun thing about releasing the special. Because it was the week of I just dropped the paywall idea. Because I was going to do the paywall idea. The paywall idea worked first for the first one, and I was like, all right, that's what you're supposed to do. Put on paywall. And I just didn't enjoy it. It took the joy out of releasing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you know what? Let me just put it out there. Let me just put it out there. People can watch it, dig it, love it. Because that's why I made it. I didn't make this special with the sole idea of, I got to make the money. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't trying to, that wasn't the end goal. The end goal is, I want to make something because I find it funny. And I want to record it in an audience where it's killing, and then I want to show other people so that it can cheer them up. Because I remember watching like Christopher Titus, Ron White, Robin Williams growing up. You know what I mean? Like I watched those specials because they made me laugh. Now I'm not saying people are going to be watching my special because I have that impact. I mean, I don't think I do, but if I did, it'd be great. I know some people said they watched it and they loved it and they enjoyed it and made them laugh, and that's what I wanted. That's the whole entire goal. Someone said you have to worry about the creation over the adulation. If you chase the adulation, your creation is going to suffer. It's not going to be as good as it could be. What you're going to do is you're going to create something that only the algorithm can love,
right,
and not what people can love.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I was just, because when you asked for this, I knew there was no way I was going to make that money back. I also tried the paywall thing, and actually here in like the next couple of weeks, I'm just going to say screw it and put it on YouTube. So yeah, look out for that.
There you go.
And then, so you recorded it back in October of 2023 or
yes, 2023.
Okay.
Yep, and it took a year to edit, and it wasn't because I was rushing it. I told my guys, you know what, let's take our time. Take your time. None of the jokes are time sensitive; they're all evergreen. So just take your time, make the best product you can. Because you see a lot of these movies nowadays that are getting made. They're rushing the special effects people. They're rushing everybody. And then they have a half-baked project. And it's like, no. When it's ready, we'll release it. And and then it rolled around to July. It was done. And I was like, hey, October's around the corner. October's my favorite month. I love October. Let's just put it out in October. We'll take the next couple months, work on distribution. We'll work on marketing. We'll work on all that stuff. And I had a blast doing all that stuff. I had a blast. I had fun releasing it. It didn't feel like a chore. And because I just kind of was like, all right, let's just have fun doing this. That's why we do what we do. I mean, don't get me wrong. We want to make some money at it. It's good. It makes us road merch money on the road, stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, but to help fuel the dream. But no one gets into comedy because they were like, oh, I want to make a lot of money. Right. If I wanted to do that, I would have been a banker. I would have been a lawyer. I would have been a doctor. Yeah. If I wanted to chase money. I want to chase laughs. I want to chase making people feel good. You know what I mean? Making people just, forget how shitty their day was for 2 minutes. And if I can do that, hell yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah.
It's indigestion, man.
The salami.
It's the salt, the carbs, everything. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, and the thing is, I appreciate you not rushing it. You did Thor, Love, and Thunder it.
Yes, I did.
And hey,
I did it.
You ended up with a special that beat out Carlin. So,
oh my God, the algorithm messed that up. What happened was on the night of the special, my special was above his for like 3 minutes, and then Amazon was like, "Oh, we made a mistake," and then they fixed it real quickly,
But I got to see it with my own eyes off of his phone. That yes, Spooky beat out George Carlin.
Trust me, part of me, I wanted to go and apologize. I was like, I was about to call Amazon. I'm like, obviously your algorithm made a mistake. There's no way that I'm first. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was number one, both charts, bestseller and new bestseller and new release, and it was really good. It was validating. It was a goal I set out for myself in 2022. I said the next one, that's what we're gonna do. And this special has surpassed my expectations. It got, it's like it's streaming on Roku TV. You can look it up, Jesse Pimpinella. It has its own app you can watch right there. Then it got the Fossum, which blew me away. I was like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, my specials right next to like Ralphie Mays, Louis Blacks, and stuff like that. It just kind of like it made me feel really great. It made me feel really, really good. And I think that's the biggest thing with comedy. I've been trying to tell myself and as well as other people, impress yourself 1 year ago. Impress yourself. Go back in time and tell yourself everything you do the next year. And if they're blown away, you're doing good. I think that's the best way to measure life sometimes, because I think sometimes we look at everybody else and go, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you do that, you're going to drive yourself nuts. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to drive myself less nuts.
Yeah. I'm absolutely a fan of comparing yourself to where you were a year ago 2 years ago, whatnot. Like, I mean, yeah, actually, Facebook hasn't brought it up yet, but I know it's coming around the corner. I think it was going to be 4 years ago now was when you and I did our first show out at Homestead.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Because that was the end of January. And then, and a week before that was when I recorded Grown Up. And then the day before that was I Had a Dream Day.
Yeah. Which is coming up.
Just
coming up.
Yep, it's coming up. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Dude, it's going to, like, we were talking about this off the air, like, the fact that the inauguration is on Martin Luther King Day is wild because, like, I'm just waiting for him to compare himself to Martin Luther King for, like, a second. Imagine, like, so I had a dream last night. As soon as he does, I'm like, he said it. I'm like, it's going to be a drinking game for me. I'm going to have a blast watching that.
Well, you can't do shots.
That's
a little too, yeah.
Okay, I will do sips. I'm going to do sips.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's I'm just imagining, like, oh my God, like, you think they could just be like, hey, you know what? Maybe we can just move the inauguration to the 19th. Biden's not going to know what's happening. You know what I mean? Just like, they've been weakening and Bernieing him all week.
Yeah. I'll say, Biden didn't even know they had an election in November. So,
yeah. He's still holding out on, he's going to win Michigan this week. Yeah. So, we don't know. But yeah, dude, that's a wild.
I'll say, Biden still thinks that Tom Brady is the quarterback for the Patriots. I mean, like,
well, is he? I don't know. So for once, so now me and Biden think we know the same thing as a fact. And that's scary.
I only know that because of the roast. I only know about football when it comes into my world.
In your world,
comedy,
Yeah. No, it's an interesting, like, how we get into, because, like, I'm not a political person at all. I don't like politics. But I will make fun of politics because it's in the peripheral. Like, but the one thing I will draw a line is I won't make fun of politics, or make political jokes with a motive. Mm-hmm. That I can't stand. I don't like. I make fun of any politician because they did something stupid and it's goofy and they're the person in power. Of course, I'm going to make fun of them. Right. Why wouldn't I? All right. In that case, for people that are sensitive, I'm punching up.
You're punching up, exactly.
I'm punching up. I mean, I make fun of things. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I'll make on YouTube, I'll make a Trump joke, and then someone will get mad at me for not making a Biden joke. I'll make a Biden joke, and then they'll get mad at me and make a Trump joke. And it's like, watch all my videos. I make fun of everybody. Yeah. I make fun of myself. I shit on I made 2 specials of shitting on me.
Yeah,
and it's crazy.
And the third one will be on OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, it'll be on OnlyFans. It will, trust me. But but the thing is, it's just like I miss the days where jokes were jokes. That felt good, didn't it? That felt good. Indigestion right there.
No. We talked about putting OnlyFans. I'm like, you could do a redo of Hot Mess and call it Thought Mess.
Thought Mess. Yeah. But no, it's like. I miss the days where jokes were jokes and people just made jokes and it wasn't as serious. Like, I make laugh at anything. I make fun of myself because, like, people make fun of me online and think they're getting under my skin. And I'm like, and I'll literally tell them, like, dude, that's hilarious. I'm going to use that on the stage. Yeah. Like, that's funny. Yeah. I just miss.
I'll use it in my little act.
I miss ball busting. I miss ball busting. I love ball busting. Same. Like, I told, like, I think it was Steve Hinkle. I was at a show with him and Ty Moore, and I said, Steve Hinkle looks like if Ty Moore did Ozempics. Now, I know that joke doesn't fly for everybody who's listening because they're like, I don't know who that guy is. Yeah. But trust me, that was a really funny joke.
Yeah, if you have them side by side.
But my point is, like, I miss just ball busting. Yeah. Like I had someone that came up to me after a show one time. They're like, "You look like a fat, bearded Harry Potter. Expecto diabetes," and like they did the whole thing. And it made me laugh. It was ball busting. I know they weren't trying to come out and hurt me. It's funny. We were talking about roasts, and for the sake of it, we both have roasts we're producing.
Oh yeah. Well, we have one February 7th. Hashtag comedy. We're doing 5 years ago, February 7th. We did the roast of Batman.
Yes.
Where Jesse was our Batman. I was Oswald Cobblepot, a.k.a. the Penguin. We had a grand old time with that. And that was my first of the character roast. And that started me off on 5 years later. We've done Thanos. We've done Michael Myers, Harry Potter,
Star Wars,
Luke Skywalker, and then we did another Halloween one. So yeah, this will be 8th, I think.
8th, yeah, this will be 8th roast.
And but this one we're pulling all the stops. We're doing we're not doing a complete reboot of the first one. We're giving it a more modern facelift for most characters. Jesse here is getting a multiversal glow down from Batman to Oswald Cobb.
Hey, I'll take it.
It'll be the Penguin.
I'll take it.
And then I'm giving myself the glow up by being the fattest Joker to have ever set foot. Like, I'm just gonna go on stage and it's gonna be like, wait, that's Joker? I thought that's just any juggalo from Newark. Like,
yeah, but no, I'm excited for that. That's going to be a blast. And if you haven't been to a character roast, they're so much fun. The reason why I like character roasts so much, and I'm going to talk from the audience standpoint why you'll love it, because it's so much fun to make fun of the fandom, to be a part of the fandom, making jokes about the fandom, making fun of Batman, all the characters, the rogue gallery, all that. It's fun. It's a good time because it's those moments where we watch the movies and we're like, that's silly. And then we bring it up and they're like, I see what you did there. You know, it's fun. But then also for the writers, so the guys that are putting together the show, we get to watch all these movies again.
Yeah.
And we're with our notes like, oh, that happened. Oh, that happened. Oh, that happened. Oh, okay. Right. And it's like the one scene that makes me laugh so hard, it was in Batman and Robin. It's one of the funny... Okay, that movie, while it's a bad movie, watch it drunk, and it's the greatest unintentional comedy you'll ever watch in your life. But there's a scene where Poison Ivy's going to go under disguise and meet Bruce Wayne for the first time. So she's opening this box in the back of a limousine. Super expensive wig. Like, it's a really expensive wig. Very posh. Puts it on, covers up. Perfect disguise. And then she tells Bane, who's sitting in the front seat driving, and he's wearing his old Bane outfit with a little fedora and the overcoat. Yeah. And I'm just like, what the hell? You could just take off the mask for like 2 seconds while you drive, not look conspicuous.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it's a silly moment. It's a silly moment. And you bring these moments up, and it's fun. It's a blast. It's a great escape. And I think if anybody who's a Batman fan, a DC fan at the very least, especially everything that's going on with DC with James Gunn's new Superman movie, Creature Commandos, Batman coming, hopefully whenever that comes out. Yeah. This is a great treat for that. It's really a fun treat. So please do check that out. And that's February 7th, everybody.
Yeah, February 7th. And yeah, a 5-year to the day anniversary of. And I remember as you talked about the fact that us as writers, we then have to go back and rewatch all the movies. See, I don't know if I've told the story in depth. That's why we're doing a podcast, though. So yeah, it was a couple months before that. You had posted a picture from you back in the days you were doing radio, and you were wearing a Batman shirt. And I think I commented on that. I was like, no matter how much you try and put that out there, you're not going to manifest yourself as Batman unless we do a roast of. And then that was my light bulb.
That was it.
I was like, we could do that. We could totally do that.
We could do that.
And I booked the whole thing. And then the moment I finalized the last person, I'm like, wait a minute. I barely know shit about Batman myself. So I spent that whole January of 2020 just mainlining everything Batman. I went, and this was back when Family Video was still a thing. R.I.P. Be kind, rewind. And I rented every Batman related thing I could. I mean, I'm talking animated shows. I'm talking all of the movies up until that point. Even Suicide Squad, which R.I.P. that evening of my life. I'm gonna get back.
Release the Ayer cut.
Yeah, yes, actually,
the
soulful drama.
Yes,
as he described it was supposed to be, a soulful drama.
A soulful drama. I'll take it.
Yeah, so that was, and that's what I think made it really fun for me. Is I was like, oh, this is my chance to really deep dive into whatever universe we're doing, and I went right from there into Marvel stuff, into the Infinity War saga of films, those comics, and. Yeah, I view it as my way. I love having the excuse of getting to dive deep into something.
Yeah.
It's so next we're doing a roast of porn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I'm Angela White.
I was the roast of Riley Reid.
Yeah, if I eat more of this carbonara, I'll have the tits for it.
Yeah. I'll say she thinks she can. She thinks she can get away scot free. No sir.
No sir. but it's just going back to it. It's fun doing those. They're absolute blast. And it's kind of weird how I picked up doing my shows with that. Because at one point, I didn't know you were going to do one hashtag at one point. So then I started doing it. So we kind of were going parallel. But I'm always careful. Like, all right, I want to be far away from yours. I don't want to touch your ground. To the point where I'm probably going to take some time off from this next one. Because I want to work on some other projects. But at the same time, I dabble.
Yeah.
But the one I'm doing is the Super Mario Roast. Or the Roasted Nintendo working title. And we're going to talk about video games. And right now, video games are kind of becoming very popular again in the mainstream. Like, there's movies. And not just movies, but good ones. Good ones. Like, before, it was impossible to see a good video game movie. That was like trying to find porn with good acting. You ain't going to find it. You know what I mean?
For the longest time, like, Tomb Raider was the best we had.
The best you had. Then you had Resident Evil for some people. Some people were like, you know, some people like that character, but you know, it made money. It wasn't true to the story.
Right.
Until you got like Super Mario Brothers, Sonic, Detective Pikachu, you know, and so now I'm like, okay, we are getting to this point where now we can let's talk about them.
Once upon a time, it was almost impossible to make a good superhero movie.
Oh yeah,
and then we did that back in the 2000s. So yeah, I guess video games are. I see more video game movies on the future. Honestly,
well, it's so interesting. Video game movies are very different from comic book movies on one level, because video games don't need movies, but comic books need movies on a different level. Because before 2008, everything was, we're making the movie because we are going to sell a shitload of toys. This is a 2-hour commercial. We're selling toys. Yes. But then when Nolan 2008 came out, and they did The Dark Knight, it was revolutionary. The game changed. Keep in mind, Batman Begin had a video game. Dark Knight didn't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now it's like, ooh, this is getting taken seriously. Dark Knight is the first comic book movie to ever hit $1 billion. That's when Hollywood was like, whoa, all right, hold on. We got something here. Let's take it serious. Yeah. But video games, man, they can go forever. They need movies. But now they're getting that love in movies, and I think it's great because now I think movies are working as a commercial to bring them in now. Bring them into the gaming world. Because, I wasn't familiar with... I never played the game. What's the HBO show? The Last of Us.
Yes.
Now I want to play that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm learning about video games I didn't know existed.
Right. You bring up Dark Knight because people also for that same year, not only did we get Dark Knight, that's also when you had the first Iron Man. That almost they almost hit theaters same time too.
Yeah, they did. Almost did. Yeah.
And again, now it's from the irony of saying this from at the time. Indie studios or independent film studio, Marvel Studios.
Yeah, the Paramount Studio. Yeah. But it was great. Iron Man, first movie, had a video game. Second movie
did not. Yeah,
because Feige saw what Dark Knight did. Like, oh, they're doing this. We're going to do this. And I'm not saying he copied. No. Yeah. Feige he knew the market. He saw the market. He worked with the market, and that's why MCU is as big as it is.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's nothing. It's not because I'm not. I don't partake in the whole DC versus Marvel. I don't. I know some people do. I don't even take sides on the Snyder versus Gunn debate. I mean, I'm just like at the end of the day, it's like shit. You're whining. Yeah. If you want to hate somebody, hate Warner Brothers. They screwed them over.
Yes.
And I understand you're mad that Gunn's not going to continue your franchise, but imagine if you were brought in and you have this multi-billion-dollar company on top of you. And what would you rather do? You either can make your own house from scratch or try to save the house that has been getting burnt down by Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
You're going to want to build your own house. Yeah. You're not going to want to try to salvage this. Warner Brothers has sabotaged it. They fucked their own house so many different ways. It's not salvageable. It's not. As much as we love the characters, I like Ben Affleck as Batman. It's not salvageable.
Yeah.
They screwed it up, and it sucks. I hate it. So if you want to be mad at somebody, be mad at Warner Brothers.
Yeah. Well, they really screwed Cavill, though.
They really
Because they actually
Cavill.
did, like, we're like, hey, we are going to save you.
Him.
They're like, we're going to save you. We're going to keep you. And then, oh, by the way, just kidding. We don't want to keep you anymore.
Because Black Adam didn't do well.
Yeah, because,
It's just...
Because the hierarchy of power did not shift in the DC universe.
No, it did. But and so that's why, like, I don't get upset that they're starting from scratch. I mean, why not? And here's the thing: maybe 10 years from now, they can do what Marvel did and bring back old characters. Yeah, kind of like how Far From Home did.
Yeah,
I mean, that can happen.
Right.
But for right now, let's have some new blood. You know what I mean? Let's let the new people come on in. They look great. I like it. I like what they're doing. I like the vision. I like the mix of animation into the new universe. So, it frees up their ability to put out content fast, but not in a cheap manner, which is great. So why not do that?
Yeah. I forget what.
Dramatic pause.
Yeah, dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause.
Again, yeah, just having some weird throat stuff here lately.
Oh, don't worry. That's my Saturdays.
But yeah, so with the whole, like, the idea of, like, video games, too. Also, you have a new Pokemon coming out.
Yeah.
I think this later this
Which
year.
Which jewel are they on?
Actually, not jewels anymore. It's
not jewels?
Yeah.
There was Sapphire, there was Ruby, there was Gold, there was Silver, there was Platinum.
It's a different retelling of X and Y.
X and Y?
Yeah.
Z.
Because when they came out with because when they came out on the 3DS, that was X and Y, because the idea was it was the grid, X and Y axis.
Which, by the way, Pokemon, you motherfuckers, for waiting that long to teach the trainer to run. You motherfucker. I had to play yellow and walk.
Yeah.
And I couldn't go fast until I got the bike, and I got the stupid Pidgey to fly me around.
Yeah.
Like, I had to walk like, those old people in the crosswalk, they're like hunched over this way, and they're like, that's how we walked in the original Pokemon game.
Yep. And you had one backpack for everything.
One backpack for everything.
Yeah.
You dropped off your Pokemons at the daycare, try to get them to mate so you get another Pokemon.
Yep. Which
I always found that hysterical. They're like, get a Ditto, get a Pikachu, you'll get a Pikachu. You know what I mean? It's like...
Right, yeah. Even so watching the cartoon specifically, like the original when we were kids, like Brock being the creeper, and then the fact that he's like, yeah, I'm a Pokemon breeder. I'm like, so you just make two Pokemon fuck? Like, you brag about that?
He sits in his, I guess they would call it the Poke Cuck chair.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on, Vulpix. Touch the other Vulpix.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like...
The fact that I just said Vulpix and I remember that Pokemon blows my fucking mind. Yeah. Come on, Vulpix. He's just... He has... You know, like when the Pokeballs are like really super small? He's just rolling one.
Once upon a time when I was in college, there was one night a couple of friends and I were hanging out doing, virgin incel activities, aka watching Pokemon.
Yeah.
We're not that anymore, okay?
No.
We're not virgins. But anyway, so we're watching, and we do a drinking game, and my rule was like, all right, drink every time it is heavily implied that Professor Oak is fucking Ash's mom.
Dude, he was. Dude, stop. That man was fucking his mom. And now, before, I know we want to talk more about this
every episode.
We're on 29 minutes. I want to throw that out there.
Okay, good.
So we'll be back from the break talking about Ash's mom getting her stomach rearranged by Professor Oak. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about.
I'll say they were catching them all.
Chlamydia,
herpes, HIV.
Remember, Oak is a fine hardwood. All right, that was getting all up inside Ash Ketchum's mom.
Even in his elder years, yeah, he was still able to get that onyx to harden.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. No, we're gonna keep doing Pokemon puns until I guess we got 15 more seconds. Like he's gonna be Professor Oaks was always in the bushes getting a Pikachu,
trying to Squirtle on the Jigglypuffs.
Yeah. All right. I don't think
Freeze.
So yeah, Pokemon puns.
As if my hard, terrible editing skills isn't enough giveaway.
No, not at all. Like you weren't even in the seat. He's not even in the seat. You're like, dude, that was the fastest I ever saw you move from the play button to that. That was awesome. Dude, that was fast, man.
Yeah, right.
Don't let us big guys fool you. We can move.
I was saying,
right?
this new software I'm using, it only gave me a 3 count. I think StreamYard gave me a 5 count. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But so, anyways, I know we were talking about a lot of nerd shit. We were talking about Professor Oak's just railing
Ash's
mom
with Mr. Mime in the corner doing his weird mime stuff.
Like, yeah, that's what he was doing. That's what he does. That's his magic trick.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're seeing we talked about nerd culture. I told you, I was like, I was driving here all day, like, just don't turn this podcast super nerdy. Just don't. Like, I try not to, because I start talking about movies and comic books and all stuff. And I annoy the hell out of my wife.
But
right?
I mean, by this point, if people are listening to the podcast, they know what they signed up for.
They know what you know what you signed up for. You know what you did.
They know the brand.
And I think that's why with our character roasts, I think that's why they're so strong, is because we are actually dedicated fans to whatever we're writing about. And that's why you're getting like deep cuts. Like there's times where I have to cut certain jokes. I'm like, okay, this is way too much of a deep cut.
Yeah.
Like no one knows about, like we did a Halloween one, the producer cut of a Halloween 6. Like no one knows about that.
Right. Yeah.
Where it turns out there was a huge incest storyline between Michael Myers and his niece. And it's like, you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. And they were like, the producer cut was them going like, wait, we can make it better. And you're like, no, this is worse. It's like that part in Godfather 3 where they're making the gnocchi and then you see the two cousins' fingers go together like that. Oh, dude, I can't eat gnocchi anymore because I just think of that. It grosses me out. If you don't ever watch Godfather 3, first cousins, it's just something they say. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, when they do the like interlocking fingers, you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah, hey, blood is thicker than ragu. So.
Oh man.
When I do those kind of roasts, my rule is like for every like 5 jokes, one of them needs to be a deep cut.
Yeah,
and that's for me as a nerd. But I understand, like, I can't be just doing nothing but deep cuts.
Yeah. Like you'd be like, what?
Even though, I'm Joker, I'll be doing a couple of deep cuts on my face. You know how I got these scars? My dad was a drinker.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to go up there and be like, Mr. Freeze, your name used to be Mr. Zero. And everyone's like, what? Right. Like, shut up. Shut up. Yep. Shut up. Don't do that one. Like, but again,
wow,
like
great detective work, Batman.
But that's the thing. That's what you're going to get when you go to these roasts. You're going to get well-researched jokes. Actually, I think we work harder at writing these jokes than sometimes our own acts.
I can 100% say that.
Like I'm like, I gotta study. Like I'm watching it like history documentaries. Like I gotta learn as much as I can or relearn. It's a lot of fun. I like it. But
it is.
I mean, I like doing it. It's a lot of fun. It's a nice break from doing stand-up. I like stand-up. I've actually fallen back in love with stand-up recently. Not to say that I hated it, but the growing online demands kind of tainted comedy for me.
100%.
And I say this because, look, stand-up is great. It's live. The audience is right there. The intimacy, boom, 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 laughs. But it's like, dedicating yourself, like, I got to make X amount of videos every single day. I got to dedicate myself to the algorithm. I got to learn this, that. And then I got to post it this time because this is the time, it's the high frequency time, which will get the most exposure on this video because this topic is about what's trending right now in the news. And it's just like you find yourself writing for the adulation and not for the creation. And then what you're making is mediocre. Now, granted, some people can do that. And that's good. Yeah. God bless them. But, I'm trying to put out stuff like, okay, I want to put out stuff that makes me laugh, makes me fun. Because if I'm putting out stuff that I'm like, oh, I got to put it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Why the hell did I'm putting Who do I expect to watch my chores?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I don't do stand up for Instagram. I do stand up for the stage.
For the stage, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I told myself, like, I'm going to start booking more gigs, start using my credits. And right now I've been doing pretty good. Like, I got a couple clubs I'm headlining this year, a couple theaters I'm headlining this year. And I'm proud of it. I'm very happy about it. I'm moving up, I feel. And I'm like, that's doing that. And I'm trying not to worry about taking pictures, trying not to capture all the moments. Just live the moments. Be in the moments.
Yeah.
You know, because, like, sometimes I get so caught up in wanting to. I live my life watching it through a screen too much, and that's where I'm just like, that's not worth it. That's not what I need to be doing, and that's not healthy. You know, I'm reducing screen time for myself. You know, I take one night where I'm going to film all my weekly videos, and I schedule them out on all platforms, and then I let it go.
Which that is a wonderful feature, by the way. The scheduled upload. Yep.
I'm so happy. I love it. It's great. And then here's the best part. Here's where it gets fun. But Jesse, what if something crazy in the news happens? You got to comment on it, right? Of course, it's fun. So then I can take a video away, put it up later, and then put the new one up that night. And it's fun again. It becomes fun because now I'm like, ooh, I'm on a time clock. I got to comment on this certain topic. I got to hurry quickly. It becomes fun again. Versus me sitting there going, okay, what happened here? Okay, I got to worry about this. You know, it's
I remember I had so many thoughts about the whole the Luigi Mangione thing, and it was one of those, I just know everyone is just gonna flood, so it was kind of one of those, like, you know, back away, you know. That when it comes to, like, to commenting on something, like, in the moment, kind of like, you know, current issues kind of stuff, I view it the same way I view dating, which obviously that isn't going well for me, so maybe I should change how I think of it. But I always compare it to the scene in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie when Captain Jack Sparrow is in jail, and you see all of the guys wagging all of their bones for the dog with the key, and he's just sitting back, just watching him. He's like, it's never going to come to you. You're all doing the same thing. Yeah. And then later on, now, granted, it's after the cannonball opens up their cell, they sneak out, and it's just him. Then he's like, oh, hey, now is my time. So that's how I kind of am with a lot of like current event-ish kind of stuff. And again, you know, with the dating, I'm like, you know, you guys are all out there just doing the same thing, just being these knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. I'm going to sit back and be intelligent. And then they go for the knuckle-dragging Neanderthals. I'm like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But anyway, so with the Luigi thing, I was even just like, you know, one thing, the one thing I could think of that was like a unique perspective was like, this really sucks for people like me. Yeah. Because, like, you know, first off, like, you know, stand-up comedy was like one of the only ways that we could get noticed. And then Matt Rife comes in with his jawline and his, you know, nice muscles. And now we have to have that. Now I can't even fucking kill a CEO and get recognition. I can't John Hinckley Jr. my way into fame anymore. Yeah, because now if you're gonna kill a CEO, you have to be this handsome Italian guy.
You have to be able to get 300 likes on Instagram shirtless before you can think about taking out a CEO. Like, you can't do it.
Exactly. I'm like, what are they leaving for us chunky white guys anymore?
I don't know. They're just screwing it all up for us, man. Like for me, like that whole situation is. I remember when I laughed hysterically. I found out his name was Luigi Mangione. He's Italian, and I was like, "Ah!" Yeah, I was like, "I'm Luigi."
I was saying that name.
I was happy. Yeah. I was like, "All right, we're Italians are back."
Yeah, I was saying that's almost like as Italian as if his name was like Vincenzo, Pecorino. You know.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I understand people are like, "Well, it was a human life. It was a human life." Yeah, like, I'm a shitty person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm
a merchant of death.
A merchant of death.
Someone that profits off of the suffering of others.
Yeah. Just meticulously and profits off. Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's just like, yeah, he was doing here's the only difference. He was legally allowed to kill people.
Yeah.
He was legally allowed to kill people.
Yeah.
That's what the difference was. And because he was legally allowed to do it, and he gets killed, everybody's like, "It's a crime." I was like, "No." I mean, like, it wasn't when you want. Yeah, I'm very interested to see where they go with the case. Like, who are they going to put on the jury? Is the jury going to nullify the case? Like, are they going to not listen and go, "We find him innocent"? Like, this is going to be a really interesting moment because, unlike anything else that has happened recently in the last 10 years, this unites people on a level beyond race, beyond creed, beyond religion.
You are with me.
But this makes people come together as a class.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so interesting because what does that look like? I mean, the last time I think we saw that sort of classism was, remember, the Occupy Wall Street 1%, but that didn't go anywhere. That didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, but this one stuck, and
but this one, I'm very interested to see what happens now. It's kind of it's interesting.
Well, because the truth is, the divide is not black and white. It's not left and right. It is rich and poor.
It's rich
and
and poor.
It always has been. Ever since the dawn of civilization, when currency was created, that currency took the place of raw power, raw strength in a sociological standings. So, like, money is power. You hear that. So, like, that's and the rich are the ones that created these other divides of, like, oh no, hate them for what they think of this issue or whatever, like that. Like, no, it's who has money, who doesn't.
And usually when you start to see a revolution in history, you see it because the rich and the wealthy have made it impossible for your poorest people to get by. Because then they become desperate, they become struggling, they're like, what's the point of living? And that's when you see the crazy desperation acts where people are going to die. Like, I'm not calling for that. I'm not saying that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, historically, history doesn't repeat itself. It rhymes. And it's a very scary thing. I mean, look at all the CEOs that are taking their bios off online and stuff like that. I mean, it's interesting. Like, keep in mind the Declaration of Independence, when that was written, I mean, that was to say, hey, look, we know we're turning against our own government, but because if this type of tyranny exists, it's now a moral obligation. So they were considered traitors, treasonous of their own country. Yep. So it's and then who said it best? The winners write the history books. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the Revolutionary War could have gone a different way. It could have gone super different. Like, can you imagine jihadist terrorist George Washington? So, I mean, like, my point is, what I'm trying to say is, history is wise. It's very wise, and the lessons are there, and things repeat ourselves. Like, cancel culture is just an echo of McCarthyism.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yep.
It's people act like cancel culture came out of nowhere. Like, no, McCarthyism happened. And that was like the ultimate. The government's like, you can't work in movies anymore. Right. You can't do this. It's happened.
Yeah, anyone thinks cancel culture is new, go talk to Gene Seberg.
Yeah. So
McCarthyism fucked her over.
Yeah.
Just because she got photographed at a Black Panther party
time. One time.
Yeah.
But my point is, it's just like, we're living in a very volatile time in our country. We are. I mean, we are, and I'm saying it as a fact because, I mean, inflation. Like I said, you're seeing majority of the population going, "Hey, go Luigi!" Also, I mean, that doesn't just happen. Mm-hmm. That doesn't just come out of nowhere. Like that's been bubbling and building for a very long time, and it's fascinating to watch. But for somebody who is very big in social science and kind of looking at how things got to where they were,
mm-hmm. And it's because of the volatility and state of the country is why we got to turn to Power Rangers.
Yep, that's why we got to turn to Power Rangers. That's it. Yeah. I'm watching the one right now. It's Time Force. It's a good one. It's on Tubi. It's the one where the Red Ranger dies in the future. Then the rest of the Rangers go back in time. They find the great-great-grandfather. He becomes the new Red Ranger. And then the new Red Ranger is, fucking the Pink Ranger. And then turns out, spoiler alert, the Red Ranger of the future is still alive, watching his great-grandfather cuck his fucking fiance. And that's a good show. It's a good show, everybody.
two things. One, still a better love story than Twilight.
Yes.
And two, this is why you don't tell me, hey, I don't want to talk about Power Rangers on the podcast.
And then
because I'm going to bring it up. Yeah, exactly.
Dude, I do. I've been watching Power Rangers, and it's blowing me away like how they filmed it. I didn't know this as a kid. So there's the Japanese version, right? And then what they do is when they make the American version, they take all the fight scenes and reuse them and dub them.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time, all the new shit is just them out of costume.
Yeah.
And most of the old shit's them in costume. And they're just, but it's so funny watching them be American with very Japanese like gestures. You'd be like, all right, let's go. It's like, what? Like it's like when you see the Japanese cut doing it, you're like, that makes sense. The cadence, the expression. But when you hear like an American dude with a surfer, like, all right, let's go. You're like,
right.
What? What? It's like watching someone with a Canadian accent river dance. It's just like there's just something like unsynced. Just unsynced a little bit. It's funny.
Yeah.
I love it. But yeah, I love Power Rangers. I fuck with Power Rangers. What was your favorite Power Ranger growing up?
So actually,
which group did you like?
Actually, funnily enough, I hated the Power Rangers growing up. In fact, I was afraid of the Power Rangers.
Why?
I don't know. So when I was like 4, I went to a preschool, and I went for one day, and then I was banned from that preschool. So like when I got there, they were like, all right, we're going to sit down and watch Power Rangers. And I don't know, maybe if I was just, only child spoiled brat, but I was like, I don't want to watch Power Rangers. And they're like, well, too bad. That's what's on TV tonight. So I apparently, as I've been told, did not stop screaming except to take breaths to scream more all day.
Yeah.
After like the 5th hour.
Jesus.
My parents got the call, like, you have to come pick up your child. He's being a terror. He might be some kind of on the spectrum. Like, I'm kidding. This is 97. The term on the spectrum wasn't used yet.
Yeah.
They were like, he's retarded.
They used, yeah. I was like, for the 90s, they were really PC.
Very progressive. Like, no.
Very progressive.
No, they're like, no, come get your retarded kid.
Dude, it's so funny, like, looking back and, like, realizing, like, how, like, the official terms, like, I found some of my old transcripts.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what did they call me?
You're right.
I think that, like, it's because, like, what happened was I had a school in my town. It got shut down, so the Fossum. It's like someone was called a mongoloid. I was like, what? What? You can't say that. I was like, it was just hilarious. Like, dude, teachers and teacher administrators, they are amazing shit talkers. Don't act like they're nice. Yeah. That's why, like, when I go to a party, if I find out you're a teacher, I'm like, I know you could shit talk. I know it because I've seen some of the shit you guys do, and you're gonna shit talk. I want to hear it.
Yeah, I know how hard teachers can go. I went to a bar here in town the night of Christmas break one year, and there was like a whole group of just teachers drinking like it was a new prohibition tomorrow.
Yep.
Like I've almost never seen a more self-destructive group of people.
No, they're out of their minds.
And
teachers are out of their minds. Good, they deserve to be.
They
deserve to be out of their minds because you know what I respect teachers because to me they're like the most professional type of comedian, and I say this with all due respect because they go into their field out of pure passion.
Yes,
pure passion. Majority go into that field wanting to help make the world a better place, and it is beautiful. And I absolutely hate how the system can grind up teachers and spit them out. And so it's like I see those news stories where it's like teacher quits being a teacher after making $1 million on OnlyFans. Like I don't blame her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't blame her. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you can only take so much disrespect and shit from a place that, and eventually you could drain a passion. You could destroy a passion. I used to have a passion for reading, and I blame school for many years destroying that passion. And 2 nights ago, or no, not 2 nights ago. When was it? It was Monday night. It was actually Monday night. I stood up all night and read a whole entire book. And I was shocked because I looked at my wife like, oh my God, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. Like I had not read a book in 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've started and stopped, but I never read a whole book. I was like, oh my God, we can have kids because whatever I thought was going on with me, it's not going to fuck with our kids.
It's like, spooky, I'm not a mongoloid anymore.
Yeah, I'm not a mongoloid. Yeah, dude. Dude, I found out what the yellow and blue class was, and I was in the blue class. Which, by the way, again, if you got classes and there's two classes in the same grade and they're divided by colors, just figure out which one it is. I was in the blue class. That was the dummies.
Yeah.
Those are the dummies.
Well, if you're yellow and blue, that's Michigan, so that's already the dumb class. Actually, so I don't want to spoil it because like I will bust this out as an actual stage bit.
Yeah.
But I was for one day in the mentally handicapped class my sophomore year.
Oh my God.
I legally was required to go to the class for one day before I was allowed to actually transfer out too. So yeah. But yeah, I do have a whole bit about that. I don't want to spoil it. I'll have it on some special in the future.
Yeah.
But
it was so funny because when I was in the blue class, at one point I got moved up to the yellow class, and I was called the resident shithead. I was I was treated like like how they treat rookies. Like, oh, you're a rookie smart person. God damn it, I'm so dumb.
I don't think we had that in school where it was like two groups within the same.
I went to Catholic school, so they can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, that's true.
and I mean that.
Yeah,
I mean whatever I want.
But like I love to think back to that like the John Mulaney bit in like his very first special ever, where he talked about in school there was two teams. There was the Blue Angels, and then there was Team 2. And he's like, and we chose the name Team 2 because we were a smart bunch. They're like, all right, we're gonna call these Blue Angels, and what are you gonna call you guys, Team 2? It's like, you got it.
You got it.
Yeah,
that was funny. It's like oh God, it's crazy. But no, pay teachers more. Pay teachers more.
Absolutely.
Pay teachers more. Health insurance people, pay up. All right.
Yeah.
And
right.
Take care of your fellow neighbors. Do that. All right.
Yeah.
How about yours? Is it getting to that time?
We'll have to kind of sort of start wrapping it up a little bit.
Damn.
But
fun.
But yeah, no, I mean, so we obviously talked about Spooky before. And yeah, like I said, February 7th, we have the roast of Batman 2.0. Harry the Hack, aka Jesse Pimpinella, is going to be the Penguin. And then I'm going to be Joker. I'm trying to think who else has been on the podcast before. Murph, yeah, he's our Commissioner Gordon. He's the roast master for it. And then we have actually, hold on. This roast has a lot of people that haven't been on the podcast.
Yeah.
So never mind.
Yeah. Well, then that'll change. You got new episodes coming up.
I was gonna say, I have two newer people that I've not worked with very much. Although one of them, Jesse and I, even off the record, were talking about how absolutely perfectly cast they are.
Oh my God! No, the person I can't say the character's name.
Yeah.
The person you have for Sofia Gigante or Sofia Falcone. Holy hell!
Like almost like straight off the screen.
Like straight off. Like it is. Like I wanted to message her the one day and be like, I don't know how not to sound creepy. Be like,
I barely know you.
You are casted so perfectly. I just want you to know that. Like, just because I just like, how do you not sound creepy?
Right.
Like, how do you not sound creepy? But yeah, so it's like, I just keep that, bury that down.
Well, okay, so I had an issue trying to cast a Catwoman because, like, if we're doing the more modern one, obviously I can't not have a Catwoman on this particular show. And my one and only real person that I was like could pull off, the more modern one. She said no, so I actually had to like put it out there on like our Columbus page.
I saw that, yeah.
And at one point, I even had to be, or someone posed the idea of like, well, you could have multiple Catwomen in one show, And I was like, first off, much like dating like real women in real life, anything more than one cat, you get way crazier and crazier. So no, keeping it to one cat. Also, it's just really weird now at this point. I'm basically going to be asking a female comic that's almost a perfect stranger and being like, hey, how do you feel about dressing up in leather and being in a room full of dudes?
The comedy is always an interesting creature in that.
Yeah.
And it's
Fortunately, I found someone who's more than willing to dress up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. The person you found was awesome. She's gonna be great at the role. But that's why I work with a lot of the same people I work with, because I just there's a shorthand to how we talk to each other. Like they know if I say this, they know what I mean. They know I don't have to be, beating around the bush. And then they'll just do it, and that's it. And I think that's why you see a lot of movies, production studios that work with like certain directors. They have their people, because it's just they know they just can churn it out the way it is. And there's just this comfortability. It's like I know what your range is as a character. Do that thing you did at that other production we did. Oh, okay, that thing. Like like for example, I'll one of the people I have on the show who's playing Peach, it's Tanya Vora.
Mm-hmm.
And she is hilarious. She killed it as the Grinch. Killed it. And I was like, I got to have her back on. Here's what I have her on as. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I had her as someone antagonistic. Now I want to see her play someone who's not so antagonistic.
Right.
And I'm having a little fun with that. Or like Ty Moore. I wanted to be Bowser so badly, but I can't get him. But we have our one buddy, Logan Stake, who's going to be Pikachu, which is the most funniest thing ever, because I'm going to make the most cuddliest character played by somebody who's not the cuddliest.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
I'll say Logan Stake as Pikachu will probably look like if the Gorillas had Pikachu as like a member of their band. Like it would just have a cigarette just hanging out of his mouth.
Pikachu,
very, like scruffled up hair a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, So check out Spooky. It's on YouTube. You can listen to it. And then check out R2 Roast February 7th for Batman, March 8th for Nintendo Roast, both of which are at Hashtag Comedy in Columbus, North.
Yep.
Anything else you want to say?
By the time this comes out, it'll be almost the beginning of February. So, like I said, Batman Roast, February 7th. Funny Bone, I'll be there February 11th. Hemborough, Ohio, February 15th. And then February 27th, which is the day before my birthday, I'm headlining Capitol Theater in Mount Gilead, Ohio. So I'm very excited for that. Okay. Kate Limanowski will be opening that show. She is an absolute killer. So I can't wait for that. It's going to be a blast.
Absolutely. And okay, I have 2 minutes to plug my shit. Cool. So January, or actually, wait, no, not the end of January. February 7th, February 15th. We have a Meraki Art Gallery show. And then February 22nd, I'm at Nano Brew in Charleston, West Virginia. And then March 8th, the rest. So, all right. Thanks for listening, Jesse. Thank you so stopping much. On. It's been too long. In fact, this has been 4 months in the making.
4 months in the making. We've been trying to make this happen.
Yeah, it says before the actual release of Spooky.
Yes,
but
we did it finally.
Yeah, finally. All right. So again, thanks again. Thanks for listening.